Hi guys, and we are live for the VCT Game Changers APAC Series Open number 2. It's been 2.5 months, but we are finally back with more Game Changers Pacific action. I'm your host, Jenny Richardly, and with me on the desk is, as always, the wonderful, the talented, the very ASMR voice. And today, it's Rav, guys. How we feeling?
I'm feeling very, very good despite everything, and I'm always excited to share the desk with my favorite co-talent, Wingman. I love having Wingman around. And of course, Jenny's here. What's up, Jenny? How you doing? I know everybody's still kind of on that road to recovery because everybody's just so excited.
Yeah, we had a pretty eventful last couple of days while the group stages were going on. I mean, Conquest Manila, I think like half the talent team right now, we're kind of in a state of recovery. But can I just say, I am so jealous that Riot gave you guys those little wingman plushies. I'm pretty sure like Mika and like a bunch of the others are also like rocking that little wingman plush courtesy of Riot Games. Thank you, Daddy Riot, for giving out these little goodies. I'm not sure if it's for sale yet, but hopefully it'll be on sale soon because I think the entire he's got his own little spotlight. That's adorable. Anyway, guys, we are into open number 2. This time around, we started out with, I think it's 68 teams in total for our Swiss group stage. Of course, the qualifiers, which weren't streamed, were played last week, I think over a period of 5 days. So each team played 6 best of 3 series. We're going to take a look at the registered teams
Oh
on
man.
your screens, and that's a lot. That's a lot. I want to do some quick math right here, but that is a heck of a lot of teams. I think it's 68. Open 1 had 70 teams. I think, we do have a little bit of a cap, but it is kind of like more of a format, more so than anything else. But we're maintaining a very steady, very decent amount of signups for Game Changers, which is great.
Absolutely. And again, that is a lot. Just to emphasize that, and we're also very thankful that we get to see this level of competition
Mm-hmm.
and consistency as well with everybody who wants to be part of Game Changers. And
Yep.
there's a lot of familiar names here too, Jenny. Again, hopefully though, we are going to see maybe potentially some returning names. Maybe that's a little bit of a spoiler, but you guys
Ooh.
are going to find out very, very soon.
Spoiler alert. But I mean, yeah, talk about familiar faces as well as some new ones. We're going to take a look at the format before we get into all that good stuff, though. As you guys know, we are into open number 2. So we are into stage 1 of the VCT Game Changers APAC series. Of course, format did slightly change this year to have 3 opens over the entire year, whereby 6 teams will qualify for Elite through the open category. And then we will have the last chance qualifiers, I believe, in August, where we will qualify the last 2 teams for Elite. And then, of course, Stage 3 Elite, where the eventual winner
Ooh.
will get to represent APAC. And I think that they did announce that the Game Changers Global Tournament is going to be in, was it back to Brazil again at the end of this year? I think, Raph. I think the
I
announcement
mean,
came out like after Open 1.
me personally, I would love to visit Brazil. Very, very lively, very
Uh
full of
huh.
culture. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to put it out there. I would love to go to Brazil. But, guys, of course, aside from the glory, aside from the chance to carry the APAC banner into the global stage, we're also competing for a very, very big prize pool. That is a huge chunk of change. And talk about the Open, I had such a great time doing the first Open this year because it really showed that everybody is so willing to change up the meta and go against what would be, I would say, firmly established in some ways, just to have, I guess, that comfort to really go the distance.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a pretty packed schedule, right? Because we've had a little bit of a break since Open 1, which was end of March, and now June, like 2, 3 months later, is Open 2, and then July Open 3, last chance qualifiers in August. So now is really like crunch time for all of these
Oh
teams.
yeah.
But off of the 68 that went into the Swiss stage, only 8 came out. It is going to be the 8 that you see on your screens into playoffs for the next 5 days. Of course, a lot of familiar faces, a lot of familiar orgs over up there, but some new ones as well, especially, Point of Authority Blossom that we are going to see in our very first series for the day. Of course, don't want to leak too much, but that first series, I mean, if y'all aren't watching, how are you not watching this? But y'all better like tune in. You've got like 15 more minutes to come watch.
That is true. And again, Jenny was talking about all the matches we're going to have today. So, you guys, this is going to be laid bare right in front of you. I'm honestly very, very certain that our audience has already picked a bunch of favorites here, especially in terms of matchup compatibility, I would suppose. And you talked about newer names too. Blossom, which is again one of the newcomers. You don't really have too much info on them, but that's what's so exciting, right? That's always a new contender every single open, every single stage. And me personally, I'm really happy too that Sapphire has a new home. Full Sense Sapphire. Very, very well deserved.
You have the super pog. I mean, like, that's kind of the point, the whole spirit of Game Changers, right? Where you have so many of these talented women playing in these competitions. And the whole point is, to give them that competitive experience and find them that backing, find them those orgs where they prove that, with the right backing, that they are going to be that success. So I'm just super happy that, like, time and again, we see so much support, so many teams signing them up, and then all these talented rosters finally getting recognized. It's just such a sweet, sweet feeling of recognition. This is going to be our schedule for today. So we do have 2 best of 3 series planned. First, of course, is going to be Point of Authority Blossom going up against Team SMG. And then later on in the day, we are going to have a big Scythe facing off against Orangutan X. So potentially, but a long day ahead of us, but we will see how it goes. We'll see just how committed SMG are to that Game Changers speed run this time around. But yeah, got an action-packed day ahead. What do you think?
I like that word, speed run. I don't think we've seen SMG actually drop a map, and they've been one of the most dominant teams we've seen so far. Other than that, I kind of like how both Orangutan and obviously SMG are playing on the same day. It's kind of like, oh yeah, we saw each other in the grand finals last time. But today is going to be the warning. This is a bit of a preview of what we might do to you as their opponents. And of course, just again, a big spotlight to both Big Scythe and Points of Authority Blossom, which I'm very excited to see what they've developed since the Swiss stage. Again, they've had, I would say, on the side of PAB more, not a lot of data, but surprises, those are my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, SMG, they've been an absolute powerhouse of an organization and of a team. I think, like, any of us, anyone rational, like, we've learned over the months, over the years, to just never bet against SMG. The thing is, SMG going up against a known quantity, going up against a known team, like, you would still vote SMG. And today's first series is going to be them going up kind of an unknown team. And I mean, like, come on. But guys, I think we are going to go for a very short break. We'll be back in just a few minutes for an even closer look at today's games. Don't go anywhere.
Got the money in the bank. Hit you with the bank. Hit you with the 808. money in the bank. Got the money in the bank, 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 bank. Got the money in the bank. Hit you with the 808. Hit you with the. Hit you with the bank.
Hi guys, and we are back for the VCT Game Changers APAC Series Open number 2, day 1, first best of 3 series between Points of Authority from Indonesia as well as Team SMG, who, as VLR recently says, is from the Philippines now. I know VLR says it, so it must be true,
right.
I guess. But nah, you know
right.
what? No. Team SMG is always going to be Singaporean in my heart. But guys, we're going to take a closer look at the lineups for both these teams. First up, it's going to be Points of Authority from Indonesia. As we said, not all that much unknown about this roster because we don't have stats, and unfortunately also no VODs available from the Swiss qualifications, but they're on your screens. It's going to be Bittersweet, Capybara, Jexter, Meta Win, as well as Popey going up against the Titans from Team SMG. POA Blossom, of course, did manage to end the Swiss group stage 5-1 in qualifiers. I believe their only loss was versus Hero KDA, also playing in the playoffs right now. Also interesting to note is that besides SMG, who went 6-0 in the group stage, all other 7 of the teams in playoffs ended 5-1 in qualifications. Absolute bloodbath.
Team SMG on that speed run. And of course, guys, you have been asking, when does Ineri play? There you go, right in front of you in this incredibly stacked roster. But I have to talk about this a little bit just because the opposing team, Points of Authority, are relative unknown, as we mentioned, but the fact that they only lost to a playoff team is already a warning sign of what might potentially come. Again, SMG, a different caliber of their own, but they really have to size up the competition properly if they want to keep that dominating record. But again, if we really look at history plus what we've seen so far, Team SMG has been absolutely perfect, plus an Aerie. So
Yep, just absolutely perfect, absolutely spot on. They had the perfect group stage just last week. So many stats, just not sure if we've got time to run through all of this all, but really quickly, 129 round differential coming out of the group stage. The next team to come as close to them was RRQ Kaguya with a plus 75, but even then, RRQ Kaguya dropped 4 maps, and Iniri as well, she dropped like 405 ACS, one map during the Swiss group stage. Just absolutely mind-blowing stats. A huge power move from SMG to pick up Ineri in between open 1 and 2, and just the response in social media was absolutely insane. I saw some tweets being like, Ineri is game changers. I mean, this girl, all during open 1, everyone was like, where's Ineri? Where is Ineri? When does Ineri play? Well, I hope all of y'all are tuning in right now, because the answer to that question is right now.
right now indeed. And if we look at the draft, I really like this map spread because it will not only test the fundamentals of both these teams, but also the patience. Again, Pearl can really, really slow down when we get to that point. But if we remember what SMG used to do, they used to run Reina Chamber on this map. So they're like, you know what? Throw that tempo out the window. We are going to play this at the SMG speed. But another thing that we have to talk about is that both these teams are actually coming off a win streak. So one of them has to break. I mean, again, SMG the heavy favorites, but we've seen crazier things happen, Ray Richu.
Crazier things indeed. And this map pick just seems like a very standard, very meta, like Pacific style of maps. There's like the Haven they start off and the Pearl as well. I mean, that's pretty much what we've been seeing in Pacific for the last 2 and 3 months. I want to ask you, Raf, do you think that the map pick in any way is going to affect the series score?
Well, yes, because we start off a Haven. And again, just a little bit of a. I know my voice is shot. Okay, you don't have to laugh at
Same.
me.
No,
It's
no,
okay.
no.
I saw the little chuckle, but it's all good. And I would definitely say that Haven has to be somewhere really along the lines of an SMG map. Again, there's a lot of Filipino players on SMG. And again, the running fact that Haven is the map of the Philippines is definitely going to translate very, very well into this matchup. So for points of authority, I feel like it's really weather the storm first, and I hope that their mental doesn't break because, as you mentioned, this could potentially be a very, very grueling and long series. But then again, sometimes we just kind of see SMG decide to run everybody through. Okay, enough of the defaulting, enough of the picking and prodding. Let's just go steamroll right to our opponent, but we have to go back. Points of authority is an unknown quantity. SMG still doesn't know how far they can gauge their power level against this new threat.
Yeah, and like when you're talking about, SMG and deciding whether or not they decide to turn things on, I feel like SMG in January decided to step it up and like they just have been full pedal on the metal ever since for the last 6 months. I think we got some stats also tweeted out by the very helpful Valorant Esports ID. Shout out to y'all on Twitter for doing God's work in our region, always giving us all the hard-hitting stats and information. SMG, the most rounds that they've lost in a map during this Open 2 was 4 rounds. They've had 6 13-1s, 1 13-2, 1 13-3, and then 4 13-4s. 13-4 is the slowest that SMG win maps. Just take a second, let that sink in. 13-4. I mean, this SMG squad is just an absolute behemoth. We just can't, say enough about what a step up they've done. And I mean, we thought that they were strong going into Open 1. In between Open 1 and 2, they picked up Inari, and now they just look stronger than ever. We were watching the final, right, way back in March. We were like, okay, we wished it had been closer from an audience perspective, but like, how do you beat SMG? And in the next 2 months, SMG was like, while y'all think about that, we're gonna be making our own power move right here, and then the Inari pickup. I mean, we cannot be more excited for today.
I like that a lot. I mean, it's like you ask, how can SMG get better? You just add an area, but I think we are going to be jumping right into the agent select here. So for all you curious people out there on what might SMG run this time, it's actually a pretty mellow comp. It's going to be a lot of measured approaches. Me personally, I am a big fan of the Harbor Viper combo here, mainly because you can really limit how your opposing team can really approach. Meanwhile, the first few picks on the side of point of authority is a little more traditional, in fact very, very standard for Haven. But wait a minute,
Wait, is that no
is that
duelist?
5 controllers?
Was that no
Guys.
duelist for
Guys.
SMG? Guys, I don't know what they cooking, but I'm not sure I like it. I don't. Okay, this is gotta go one of two ways, right? This is either SMG being like, we can pick whatever we want, we can test whatever we want because it's still only day number 1 of the playoffs, or it's SMG somehow with the 5-hit, 200 IQ brain. Talk me through this really quickly, Raf, before we get into game.
Well, again, tempo is definitely going to be in favor for SMG here because they can slow down the game as much as they want. Typically, if you want a little bit more speed, you have initiators. But patience is the key, or just maybe just an outright flex. We were talking about power moves. This is the most absolute power move of all power moves. But then I digress. This is map 1. This could be the size up that we were talking about. And of course, on a map like Haven as well, Jenny.
Oof, all right, well, we about to find out what's gonna happen in our very first map of Open number 2, day number 1. Guys, here, of course, to bring you all that sweet in-game action. It's none other than Raf, V2, and Dax. Guys, take it away.
Looks like we cloned her from the panel, but ladies and gentlemen, we are back with Game Changers. We're going straight into Haven, and in a tale of two extremes.
Raph got scared, man. Raph got scared for a few seconds there. But anyway, going back, the spike is already planted for the side of SMG, and Alexi already going with 1 kill here. 5 people choosing a controller agent. Power move, Dax. Power move.
Exactly. Statement made here by SMG as Raph thought he was going to end up casting this one. In the end, though, 5 controllers. It'll be full of smokes onto anywhere they go here on Haven. And immediately now, yeah, Capifire trying to play to go for the retake. Met the win with the takedown over onto Alexi. And it's still more smokes in the way. But the gravity well gets the pull going. Cameo with the takedown. Here comes Neri as well. And from this point on, SMG played the long angle. But Sapphire, where did that come from? A triple kill to fight back. SMG still stands to win.
What is that? What just happened right there on C Long? Lots of engagements left and right to the taps to the head, but in the end, again, Eneri with the ghost still standing tall and getting the win for the side of SMG. I mean, they just literally pressed W, conquered the site, planted the spike, and the other team, obviously, for PAB right now, they just wanted to defuse. But again, it's 5 controller agents here, Dax. You have all the utilities they can think of, even the gravity well.
Yo, I wanted to talk to you about so many things. How SMG's run has been perfect all throughout the year. How Eneri is here. But the biggest question mark right now is, why are we seeing 5 controllers? And why is no one checking the corner here? As Jexter gets the takedown. But come on, Eliza, Taylor, what do you think about this kind of composition that SMG's running?
This is the new meta. Pacific.
Okay.
Be careful because
Take
this
notes.
would be in the normal VCT circuit, I would suggest. And if it
Okay.
works out, you know, this is the perfect VOD to watch.
Paper Rex is gonna learn from Team
Paper
SMG.
Rex is gonna learn this. And, you know, they're gonna change every single meta they could ever think of.
Yeah, the smokes do come out from Alexi. Knows now because of the paint shells that POA is coming this way. Point of authority falling apart to the hand, the Guardian. And Shirazi keeping an eye out of the back lanes as well. Sapphire, the only one still standing. The Spectre is ready to try and get the takedown. Metawin playing towards Garage, but this is just another clear round for Team SMG.
Yeah, she's just gonna die off from the spike right now. And a clean 2-0 for the side of SMG. Obviously, they had the advantage when it came to the guns, but other than that, they have to also be cautious about this kind of move that we're looking at here, Dax. Because in the end, you just never know. They can just also hold onto the shotguns and just completely obliterate SMG, and then we see them, you know, taking this a little bit more seriously for the time being.
Yeah, they have to be careful because of the smokes themselves.
They don't check the corners anymore.
They don't check the corners. They might not be checking their own smokes. And I do wonder how Point of Authority is going to be handling this, because SMG, you can see that they're just using the raw firepower to win out these goals. Shirazi, Alexi speeding on over, and this could have been a good rifle round for Point of Authority, but it falls apart to the execution of SMG.
Alexi needs to be careful with that snake bite being thrown off, but again, it's Sapphire left alone. Spike's already planted. The post plant is already there for the side of SMG as well. And at this point forward, they would probably just go for a save right now, especially for the next following rounds. It's just a bonus for SMG again. But yet, Sapphire finds one, maybe even 2.
Up, not finding those frags a while ago on the pistol. Also 2 here to do some damage onto SMG, but as of right now, Team SMG, they're the team to beat, and you can see why despite the composition.
What's the limit? What's the limit? Was it 13-4?
Yes, exactly. As
The record.
Rachel said, the most they've given up to the opposition has been 4 rounds this open Terror. If Point of Authority can at least get 5, they're already breaking any kind of
Exactly.
record other teams have been
Exactly.
trying to get through.
That's still something, right? If you
Yep.
think about it. I mean, the stats are already too much in favor of SMG at this point, and breaking that is the first step towards having more confidence moving forward in our rounds that we're looking at. But anyway, it's another brand new round for SMG to take. Paint Chills, a little bit of a delay here and there, but SMG not stopping on those pre-fires.
Yeah, you know what I want to see? I want to see SMG make like a caterpillar on this map. They have all the smokes anyway. That if they're
Yeah.
gonna play all the way right from C long to C site.
What is the plan, you know? Like, where are they gonna put all these smokes? I mean, they use up, obviously, the ultimates of the Harbor here. But this is gonna be the cue for the side of SMG. They go for the double swing, and immediately Capybara goes down.
Yeah, POA, they tried to use the paranoia for the stall, but SMG is already on site. Cobra protection, Alexi on the lurk as well. They find the takedown towards the lobby area, and really SMG everywhere.
Oh my
Alexi
God.
even bringing out the Sheriff. Quick draw to win against MetaWin. From this point on, it's SMG just hunting down the members of Point of Authority.
It's just Dexter left alone. Kohivi finds her as well. It's a flawless round for SMG. 4-0, and so far, all the smokes they've just been throwing around at this point. Like, what else can you see, you know? When they go in, it's either gonna be a double swing or 3 people swinging all together versus 1 player on the site itself. It's just difficult.
I genuinely think it doesn't even matter what
Yeah.
kind of smoke they do. Right now, they're just overrunning Point of Authority. And I want to talk about our defending team for a little bit here, Terror, because this squad, they tried to qualify in Open 1, didn't make it. Here in Open 2, they finally did with just 1 addition to the roster in Sapphire. And you can see that this team, they have this potential to try and go for greatness, but against the Titan itself, SMG, the struggle is real, and Alexi will make it even more painful. Shirazi's on the board, and from this point on, Jaxter,
Oh, no.
the knife is out.
Oh, no.
Here you have it, Alexi! She wants to show off
She
some
misses
solid
one.
game. Doesn't even notice. And Jaxter, she survives it. 1v1 here, Terror.
My God, Alexi. 1v1 again. Shirazi full on the HP. She finds just like that. Just like that. I mean, at that point, Alexi, why did you miss the knife kill?
Come on.
She was my team captain at one point here in episode open. Not open, but at the show match basically. She taught me this. And why did she miss?
Lead by example.
Ah,
Yeah, you have to text her after this one.
I mean, you have Pinoy map, you have a Pinoy caster, right? What else is missing?
Yeah, they have
What
Pinoy-
else is missing? It's the Tondo Gaming, right?
Come on, I want to see it from Team SMG. Hey, Terror.
Hey.
Team SMG. TS.
TS!
It writes itself.
Stop! I'm in another stream, I might forget. Anyway, Jaxter just waiting patiently here. Smokes up, obviously, for 5 controllers. There's gonna be lots of smokes, but Alexi goes in! Shots connecting, but not enough to get the kill here.
Enemy remaining.
And SMG just overruns yet again. There hasn't really been much to say besides they find that contact, especially towards from the window, towards garage and onto C-site, and they just execute. 1 wall from the Viper or 1 wall from the Harbor is all the cover that they need here, Terror, and Point of Authority, they just have no answer to the raw prowess of SMG.
Yep. I mean, even if you had the recon as well, you detect some of the players from SMG's side, but again, they could just hide through those smokes and really pull off those rounds that we're looking at just like that right now. But Samfire already detected. They know she's in garage. Lexi is on the hunt yet again. She dies off after going through the smoke of her teammate.
After hopping around, gets slowed himself, and Sapphire trying to find a few exits. It's not enough. SMG just with another one. And come on, Terror. We saw them already have a perfect run last open. And then they add basically the face of Game Changers.
Yep.
The best player you can have in your roster in Inari. I think really the question right now is, what can stop Team SMG this season, especially if they can get away with compositions like this so far?
Exactly. Like we were talking about it as well a while ago, how this team composition is very much at the top right now. At this point, it's not even arguable that they are the top team that we have here in this open. And possibly what team can stop that? But maybe this shotgun can, as the Viper Spit has been placed already here on Garage as well. Koibi to get the kill, and now the entry from the players. And but then there's just too much happening on the side here, Dax.
Yeah, SMG's already on site. They do lose one to the corners each time they entered from Garage and the site itself, but it doesn't matter. The refag is quick and the multi-kill is even faster. The reaction comes in, but Jexter wins that takedown. And from now on, Koibi is there to keep the train going. SMG has no stops, only goes for these rounds.
The next question is, when will Alexi next attempt the knife kill? You know? Those are the questions left right now. I mean, Koibi, you have her going into the team. You have also players after they jump out of the smoke. Possibly, this can be the chance or the opportunity for the side of Point of Authority. But then, yet again, you just have the trades. It's just the basic foundation of Valorant that they have, and they trust each other, whatever happens. And now with a showstopper out for Capybara.
Oh, Capybara hesitated, got hit by the fault line. From this point on, that could have been the opportunity. Koibi will get the punish on SMG, just sticking on around with each other, hearing that showstopper in the first place. But Alexi has a different plan. Teleports ahead over onto tower. This A site. And really, SMG, they stop whatever Point of Authority tries to throw at them.
I mean, an immediate TP from the shadows going to the top of the site. This is the cue for them. They knew that some of the players for PAB or Point of Authority right now is just looking through the middle of the site. So it doesn't matter really, because the site or A site is completely open for them to take. A clean 8-0. Very, very, I mean, not clean rounds because they just go rush in and whatever happens, happens. Yeah. But it's an 8-0.
I didn't know my good friend Owen played in this game. My good friend Owen 8s, and I can't even put words into what SMG is doing anymore. They're just winning basically. I like the try from Point of Authority. They went for the fault line, they went for the showstopper, but maybe miscommunication there, getting hit by their own stun. Those are the times, and especially with their confidence being shattered like this by SMG. Point of Authority, they need a little bit of time to recuperate, but against SMG, well, there is a chance. If they have that garage control, they can have the advantage.
I mean, they managed to pull off 2 kills already off the chart here. Spikes planted though for the side of SMG again, putting down the lockdown for PAB as they want to clear out the site. But look at this, they really want to fight this out. This is Kami almost getting those 2 kills, but an immediate trade coming in from Jexter.
Yeah, lockdown's there though, and SMG have to respect that. They don't have the utility to break it. They're pre-firing, and Shirazi falls, just anticipating the swing. It's all left to Ineri now in a 1v2. Let's see what she can do. Back in action, but cannot get the back-to-back kills. Point of Authority, they get their first round going.
Finally, the first round going here, and you just never know. Maybe this can steamroll towards the next rounds that we're looking at. Again, a record here is for the side of SMG. Other teams have come up against them with a 13-4 scoreline, and that's the maximum so far. And if we see rounds like this, again, being that hyper or being that confident that you can take each and every round, it also has its cons, like this specific round.
Absolutely, and you saw that, right? The fact that the Rogers still held together by Point of Authority, it gave them a good position to play that lockdown for the retake, and SMG, they just don't have any initiators or duelists to get close enough to actually play against that. But we go into another round. Paranoia already used up by Alexi. The rest of SMG funneling through long. Judge in hand, but Cameo takes it anyway. Bittersweet. Well, it will be a salty ending as she falls from the platform, and this is now 4v2.
2-1 Garage. That's for the side of Point of Authority. Samfire trying to go around the site itself. CT side is the choice here, but someone's waiting through the smoke, and that's actually Ineri rather. Just patiently waiting someone to cross by, but this is gonna be the Sova drone.
No!
No way! Caught off guard. Of course.
done dirty by Eneri. And what do you expect from a roster like this, talents like this, and of course the face of Game Changers herself back in action to do things just like that. SMG, they're pushing the limits of what they can get away with in this tournament, and they're still going for more here, Terror.
They are definitely doing exactly that. Utility-wise, with these two teams that we have right now for point of authority, they do have the Hunter's Fury and from the Shadows as well. But again, what can stop SMG at this point? They're really just pushing in and really taking on the fights. But if you can shoot like this, exactly like this, like Capybara is doing, maybe there's an opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Stellar shooting from Capybara. Do we get more SMG? Different plan. Orbital strike to flush them out. And Shirazi actually burning Metawin along the way. But this is just a distraction, Terror. Big commit from point of authority to play towards C. Instead, we have SMG using the Reckoning and getting on A site.
Again, since you are used to them just pushing in on the site, whichever choice they want to do and take, you get used to that factor that you hyper-rotate and overextend, basically, and over-rotate. But yet again, they are at an eco disadvantage, and as much as possible, they want to rotate fast to actually take on the engagements here. But a post-plant being set by SMG, a little bit unstoppable right now. They use a recon, but no one really to detect.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem of the smokes, right? And now Alexi, Camu, create the kill box, and point of authority will fill that up. SMG now towards double digits. This team was already unbeatable before, looking even more unstoppable right now, Terror. And just before we start talking about the next round, I look back at their records. We talked about those 13-4 wins in Open qualifiers in the Swiss stage. Those were against their biggest rivals. Those were against, if I remember correctly, Orangutan X and FS Sapphire. So what does that have to say for SMG strength?
Exactly, especially here in Open 2, and then you have an Eneri to the team. It's just a really stacked composition right now that everyone should be actually going and pushing forward and try to contain as much as possible, as early as possible, you know? But again, you just cannot stop when they're actually that good already.
Did you see what point of authority decided to do this round? They said, screw the rest of the map. We're playing only for C. And
it's always C now.
It's always C. We only play on one site. And because of that, SMG, they lose Camu. But then realize, guys, gals, A is open. Let's plant there.
It's time to rotate to a side. A is open again for the taking. And, you know, they're just going for the manpower here, knowing that SMG can trade off even if they are just two players and get those multi-kills. At least they want to put and just extend more people towards the site itself so they can fight better for the trade. Look at this. They managed to pull off and get Alexi out of the board as well. At least it's a 5v3 situation.
Yeah, Alexi's basically the biggest flanker SMG has, and point of authority now going for the retake. Gossip Divido in the way. Dart is there, and Neri is just stuck here in the corner, but she doesn't care. Shirazi's there for the cover. Kohaibi is going to be hit with a helping hand too. And they can't even get out of the smoke, Terror! They were just dead as soon as they stepped on site.
I mean, how? You have 5 smokers here. How can you just go out of the smoke at this point? But to be honest with you, that paranoia perfectly connected. And aside from that, they had the recon dart from the Sova as well, connecting perfectly towards the players of the site. But then again, because of the smoke, they were too fixated and a little bit scared to actually hop out and fight.
And did you realize it's already halftime? So we'll toss it over to the panel to break down SMG's domination.
Good luck.
Thanks, Terror and Dax. 11-1. Raf, what a half from SMG. What do we think about the 5 controller comp? Is that contributing to SMG's success, or are we just seeing straight up pure SMG?
I mean, they have 11 rounds. Yes, it's contributing to the success. And again, in more ways than one, honestly, because it proves that the strength of SMG is not just in the mastery of the more strategic sides of the games too. If we saw that last round, I was almost certain that Ineri was going to get fragged from the corner, but we saw Shirazi and Kohaibi just swing out from their own smokes and basically get that support out as quickly as they can. But we go back to the point that you were making. Did the composition contribute? Absolutely. Aside from the game itself, the mental warfare. When you see 5 controllers at the beginning, it's like, oh, well, how do we deal with that? Okay, that's the first part of the mental warfare. And then second, you lose 3 rounds straight. Oh, why aren't we handling this? It's one of those things where, as a player, you end up kind of doubting yourself because, like, hey, haven't we dealt with these types of super, I guess, trolly comps? But again, there is some strategic value. It's just, wow, SMG. Come on. I do want to highlight Samfire. Samfire has had a lot of great moments, especially early on. But SMG, like we said, they're still kind of gauging all their opponents and how, I guess, limit or how they can limit their own power against certain type of teams.
Yeah, and I mean, well, points of authority, they're on the board, right? They've got at least 1 round under their belt. I think we also saw that they were trying to switch things up towards the end, just everyone at C, and then that was going to be their strat. Hopefully, we'll see points of authority have any other solution or anything else they're cooking up because they got to figure things out pretty fast. Taylor and Dax, back over to you guys.
Damn.
I expect me to be
Sorry.
on cam.
Dax is just like trying to see what the score was and like just 1-1-1 3 ones, 11-1. That's the scoreline that we have right now. But welcome back here to the game. Halftime's done. The panel analyzed perfectly with how the game is going right now. And, I just want to say Alexi messaged me and she said like, hey guys, I know you need to rest your voice, so here you go. That's the plan.
Doing such a favor to one of our
Thank
favorite
you.
casters here in Game Changers. But job's not done for SMG as of yet. Point of authority do try to play for that A site, but look at how oppressive this is on the defense. There's a Viper wall on the west side. There's a Harbor wall towards that A site, and really, SMG is daring POA to actually cross this.
They can burn up the utilities here for the side of SMG anyway. And at the end of the day, when they go to another and different site, it's the same factor that they have to face on. Especially you have global control here coming in from an area as well. But again, the shots, especially when you try and push into a site and slowly really taking rounds after rounds here, they actually get control over it.
Here we have it now. Camu falls in point of authority. A solid rotation to get their second round going. If it was any round here in this game theater for them to get, it would have been their pistol. And let's not forget that POA, they have a normal composition.
Yeah.
So they're going to have a bit more speed to work with, a bit more intel, and they can get into very aggressive positions early on to catch out SMG.
Exactly. That's exactly what SMG doesn't have right now, that intel. And that kind of advantage that Point of Authority has as towards SMG, they can definitely use here on the rounds for them to take. They can buy for this one. SMG, Alexi goes for a stinger buy here as well. Again, you saw the sheriff shots a while ago, Dax, so it's still quite possible to see things turn around.
Yeah, and especially if SMG can anticipate, that's exactly what they're trying to do. Play from the exit points of that C site. Capybara clearing things out with the judge as well. The POA get the spike plant going. And Neri, though, you said it, Terror. Easy takedown now to start things off. They're gonna need double stacking from Garage, especially triple from the Link itself. But POA with the frags. Anti-Eco looking decent here for Point of Authority. Shock Dart also as the power no connects. But Alexis is hopping around like a bunny. The judge gets the connection and the takedown. And Kohaibi's there too. 2v1 now. SMG turning things around. The teleport. Where is Alexi? Right beside you. And SMG will steal it away.
Such a deadly round for the side of Point of Authority here. I mean, Alexi at that point was just baiting her out at the back end of the site. Even at that point, the camera wasn't looking at Alexi. I was also wondering, where is she? Where did she TP? And just literally beside her, went for a shot. It's done and over with. You anticipate, Dax, and then it's still the things that you don't expect happening.
It's so wild here from SMG. They just know exactly what they can get away with. And right now, the dominance does continue from where they've left off last open. They are your defending champions for good reason. And as of right now, they're looking to hold towards a long terror.
They are. At the same time, they have the spike here. Again, point of authority. They can take intel here, especially inside through smokes. Checking out Alexi as well. But we all know the crossfire has been set already and the TP is ready. Let's go Ivy going for the swing for anyone who's possible or actually trying to push in as well.
SMG, do they push this? The spike actually left behind here towards long. Bittersweet getting tagged already. 28 spray. Has back on the way. SMG though, beyond that initial contact, they're not gonna know where point of authority are headed to. So instead, they have to send someone like Alexi a little bit more forward instead.
We are looking at rotations here coming in, especially for Alexi as well, as she follows the team while they're hyper rotating. It feels like she's part of the team as well, and you can see how SMG knows exactly and anticipating what will happen next as well. Alexi being detected by that turret. Oof.
Yeah, spotted out, sure, so the flank is at least known, but despite the smoke, Cameo gets a takedown. POA make their way towards the site. There's only one standing there with that Shirazi. Here we go yet again. Shirazi dodging, weaving, and getting away with it. SMG, a 13-2 victory, Terror, and all I gotta ask right now is, what composition will we get from these gals next?
I mean, map number 2 is gonna be Pearl. Are we gonna be seeing like a 5 duelist composition possible at this point? You just don't know what to expect coming in from SMG here, but you see the score already, 13-2. It was very much one-sided, and the balance is it's just not there, Dex.
Yeah, if
nice
all
wingman
the
too.
teams... Yeah,
by the way.
Where's yours? Show it.
Mine is downstairs still.
It's still with Dwight. We heard Dwight a while ago on cast, but
oh really? Is he
yeah,
here?
I don't know. I heard a cat, but anyway, I am just a little concerned for POA because this is finally their time to make it towards the top 8 playoffs, right? And of all the teams that they have to go through first, it is Team SMG who have just overpowered anyone and everyone. And for what we've seen so far, nothing looks to phase them, Terror.
Yeah, nothing looks to phase them. It seems like they're unstoppable right now, especially here in this Open 2. But we're just starting off the season right now, Dax, and I feel like obviously as time goes by as well, the teams will be adjusting. At the end of the day, they're gonna be up against a team that are also at the same league as theirs, you know? They've been playing with them for a long time, but yet again, SMG looking pretty much unstoppable right now. It's a map pick that they chose anyway. Map number 2, maybe the comfort will be there, and a little bit more scoreline here, Dax.
Yeah, and we'll be tossing it over to the desk to break down what went on over that Haven map. Back to you, Ray, Richie, and Raph.
Thanks, Taylor and Dex. We're gonna try our best. We're gonna try our best to do our job to break down what went on in that map number 1. What a map 1. SMG is just popping off, popping hits left and right. I mean, we were talking about maybe there would be some hope going into the second half for POA Blossom, right? But trying to plant that bomb versus the SMG squad of 5 controller, not a lot of luck there, Raph. What did we think?
It's one of those things, right, where aside from my voice dying, a lot of them are dying within the smokes because, again, when it gets really messy, sometimes the calls are, oh, they're in the smokes. Which one? What smoke? You know, which one are we talking about? But other than that, I feel like, again, just watching the game, aside from SMG just doing their own thing, PAB or Points of Authority maybe needs to tighten up the rotations because there was a lot of times where Inari would be so deep into the spawn or into the connector positions and PAB can't really set a stage where they can have a, I guess, clear grasp of what they want to do on any of the sites, really. And again, we just talk about how this is the size up, you know. PAB, they have to show that they can weather the storm that SMG is so willing to bring every single game. And I do agree with the casters that maybe map 2 could be a different story. You talked about the 5 duelists. Maybe your intrusive thoughts are going to win this time for the second map, but we got to focus our lenses on this one first, on the very first one.
And MVP, gonna go over to Alexi for SMG POA Sandfire. On the side of Blossom as well, and Sova is going to pick up MVP for her squad. I mean, not all that much that really she could do in that bad situation over a map 1, but still having a pretty respectable 2-6-3 ACS coming out of the end of that one. And talking about the compositions, right, as we look forward into the map number 2 that is going to be on Pearl, I feel like if there's one thing we know about Team SMG, it's that we don't know anything at all, right? You have no clue
man.
whether or not they're gonna go into map 2 and be like, you know what, 5 controller worked for us, let's do that again. Or if they're gonna do a complete 180 turn and then go for that 5 duelist, which is I think something a lot of us, including me and Taylor, like all of us, we want to see them bust out that 5 duelist composition. But here's some highlights from that map number 1.
You know, you are really giving either into the intrusive thoughts of running 5 duelists or giving
Please.
SMG more dangerous ideas, because SMG so far they've proven that they can supplement any weakness they have, strategically speaking, with just outright gun power. Again, none of these players have been slacking off in terms of just taking the fights, and well, Neri, despite losing that one, has still been very, very sharp. I'm trying to highlight Neri here. Stop showing the clips where Neri gets shot in the face, please. But
Yo, they doing my girl dirty, man. Yo, this is her first time this year back. You can't do that. Come on, observers.
but anyway, again, just everybody has been super, super sharp. You'd kind of expect maybe Neri would be a little rusty coming off from a bit of an absence. Again, Open 1 was around March. I can't believe it's been that long, Ryochu. And now we're back, we're back at it, into the playoffs, into SMG doing SMG things. And we're going to jump right into who might be our MVP. Oh, are we going to jump into it? It's still Alexi, the Omen, the most aggressive controller in 350. Come on, guys. There are ACSs that exist below the 300 mark. You guys should try it sometime, honestly.
Oh my god. I mean, 315 as a controller and on a team with 5 controllers, right? And yet, Alexi's still bagging the MVP. Very well deserved, I think. I think one thing that, we maybe don't mention it as much because the just straight up firepower and like just the skill diff for SMG is just so blinding. I think one thing that we don't mention enough is that I think these girls on the SMG roster are just so flexible, right? Because we see them a lot like when they stream and they're solo queue and just like the way that they interact, the way that they like to play. I think a lot of these girls in solo queue just tend to play a lot of those duelists, right? Open 1, our main question for SMG was like, can they fit together like as a cohesive team? Because you've got so many people who are just used to W gaming, as is tradition in our region, but can they, kind of pull it back and then make it work? So going off of this map number 1, 13-2 on 5 controllers, like, is this the big brain strat that SMG thought to, rein things in just that little bit? But guys, we're gonna go for, my voice is giving out. I got way too excited watching map number 1. But guys, we're gonna go for a really short break before we come back to see what SMG have cooking up next and whether or not POA Blossom can turn things around. Don't go away. We'll be back. Hi, guys, and welcome back to our first series of the day between Team SMG and Point of Authority Blossom. We just saw map number one, and what a map number one! SMG just putting up an absolute masterclass in Valorant gameplay. Looking forward to map number two. Raf, wanted to ask, what do you think Point of Authority Blossom can do to try and get some control back in the series?
Like I said, the first thing they really got to establish is that they're ready to take the type of mental warfare SMG loves to employ. And this is a strategy that's been pretty much curated ever since this roster became a thing, because we know that they're a dominant team. They know that they can pick whatever they want and still find success. Haven was incredibly evident of that, going 5 controller, incredibly unorthodox, but still maximize the value of basically each other. For Pearl, I'm not even sure what they're gonna bring out this time. Could it be the fabled 5 duelist that you really want to see, and of course Taylor wants to see? Or are we gonna go for something a little bit more traditional? But going back on Point of Authority, they just gotta again buckle up, because SMG, they will really look for things that not only will break you in game but will get under your skin.
Yeah, and I mean, Pearl, it is going to be PAB's map pick this time around on Haven, which was SMG's map pick in map number one. We just saw how good they were at setting that tempo. So hopefully on Pearl, things might be a bit different. What do you think about, what PAB might be hoping to pick up here? Do you think that they're going to continue doing, like, picking the meta picks, doing, like, what they're comfortable on and what they've probably been practicing for weeks and weeks? Or do you think that, if you want to beat SMG, maybe meta is not the way to go? What do you think?
I like that question, you know what I mean? Because it really is, it has to be a balance of, once again, being coherent to the meta and following that and going to your comfort. Because once again, if we talk about meta, SMG, they know how to deal with it, they know how to play it very well themselves. So maybe it's time for PAB to think outside of the box. I'm really happy that you brought that up, because a lot of teams, they're a little too strict with themselves, that they limit their own creativity. Obviously SMG is not one of them. They get a little too creative, but I'm hoping that we see a bit of that too on the side of PAB.
Yeah, I mean, they had what, like 5 minutes to just like turn things around, figure out if they're gonna go for what they planned and what they practiced for, or if they're like, you know what, we're going up against SMG. We pulled out like our best composition in map one. We thought that we were gonna face them head to head. That didn't quite work out. And if they want to try anything different for this map two, they didn't have a lot of time to figure that out. And you're saying like mentality, that mental game is going to be absolutely crucial for this type of series also. So I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful for SMD to maybe try something new, but I'm also hopeful for Points of Authority Blossom to try and figure something out to counter SMG in this
That's
period
true.
of time. I think we're gonna get into Agent Select pretty soon.
If you think about it, this is an insane trial by fire on the side
Yep.
of the Point of Authority Blossoms, if I'm not mistaken, because they are really a new name. And it's like, oh yeah, we battled throughout the Swiss stage and we've been really good. We only lost to yet another playoff contender as well. So again, going to be coming into this feeling good up until you run into SMG, up until SMG pick 5 controllers, up until they're gonna. Oh, okay. This looks pretty standard for now on the side of no,
Oh.
guys, no, no,
Oh.
no. That's 4 initiators and a controller. Okay, there's. Come on, man.
If they had showed us this first on map one, like maybe we would have been a bit more surprised. But after that Haven composition, we're like, okay, 4 controllers, we'll take it. We'll take it. I think Point of Authority are running pretty much the exact same comp composition. Oh, I think they've got a Phoenix in there, but they're gonna have the Raze as their duelist as well. KO, and yeah, it seems like, you know, cooking at something. Maybe not cooking up a lot, but still cooking up that little something. But guys, of course, once again, back to talk y'all through all the action in map number 2. It's gonna be Taylor and Dax. Guys, take it away.
Thank you to our wonderful panelists. We are in for a treat for map number 2, Dax. It's gonna be Pearl, and we're seeing a 4 innie composition and 1 harbor. At least they couldn't go without a smoke here.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to cross.
They realized it, you know?
No love for Sova, no love for Breach as well. Poor them. On the bench. Oh, I'm muted here, but I'm heard all throughout the world. But all I gotta say here, Tara, is you look at the composition that they have. They forgo the intel. They forgo the long range engagement of the breach. They just want to get close. They might be able to play off their own utility as well. And SMG, they do SMG things.
I mean, it's SMG, right? I was already talking to Alexi a while ago, and she was very excited for this next matchup because, again, the game is too hot. Now we're going and heading into right now into a map where there's a lot of water, there's a harbor, there's a lot of initiator, there's a lot of blinds. So I'm excited to see what will happen here.
Oh yeah. So you were DMing SMG in between, and so you're the Sova, you're the Recon Dart.
I'm the Recon Dart.
You're the 5th initiator that
look
they're
at
looking
what
for.
Kami is doing first. Let us appreciate the gecko dancing.
The Gecko Shuffle.
Yeah, but I am the Sova drone at that point. But you know, let's keep it in check at least.
The
For the
SMG
meantime.
Insider.
Yeah, SMG Insider. But look at this. They have the double duelist set up here for points of authority. At least they have the capability to explode onto a site or surprise SMG for a time being.
Yeah, they're tried and tested comp from the open qualifier. They also vie now to play for that mid, but SMG just trying to narrow down those options. Jexter with 1, Alexi makes a trade happen. But we've seen this a lot for point of authority. Since SMG are running very unorthodox compositions, they can just quickly go over to the other side of the map and put the spike down there.
Exactly what you said as well. Alexi here on the side. B-Link, she has a knife that they can use, but no one really to detect as of that moment. Point of authority right now, being the spike is planted, at least for the time being. They have a post-plant set here, but with all the initiator that we have, a little bit of those utilities coming forward, but no one really to defuse the spike. But here we go, Wingman defusing the spike right now while others are playing out, but Alexi, only man remaining.
Oh no! Oh no, it's getting moving! Oh my! Alexi just wraps it all up at the very end. And where did that come from, Taylor? You thought the Wingman could have had it, but it's Alexi who holds everything down for the ace.
There was so much happening on the site itself. We were looking at the player for point of authority, fighting it off with everyone basically. At some point, Camingu died off. The Wingman just kept defusing the spike. And at the same time, Bittersweet just losing bullets and really like panicking for a little while, and Alexi just finding her in the end.
I genuinely thought the Wingman could have gotten away with it.
Imagine, you were just beside it, you know?
You're just watching it. Please don't stop. I need this one. This is the one round that we need. And because of Alexi's ace, she now is so very close to the null command, and SMG even more confident right now. They see the cascade in front. They also want to go for the dizzy if ever, but Cammy will swing dry anyway. Get the 2K now. The flash will come into play. They just want to blind POA as much as possible, and SMG come to collect those kills.
Again, you have 4 initiators here. If they try to look for a fight, they will definitely find that. Not other than that, but they would also have all the utility that you could think of to get intel here, Dax. Information. And as much as they have that, they will go, literally go for the kill each and every time.
Can't keep getting away with things like this here for Team SMG, but all I have to ask her right now is, what can POA Blossom really do in this scenario? They need to find a way to either pull the rotation away from the site they want to hit, or win out those early duels at the start of these rounds. Because if SMG, right, can just get that map control that they need, and yet again, we're gonna see them just push that even more so.
And I feel like for point of authority anyway, when they try to play slow, they can actually catch a little bit of the team of SMG a little off guard because of how fast the players are rotating and trying to look for those kills. But that was a while ago when there were 5 controller agents, but now that you have info. Anyway, let's hold that thought as Capybara already entering the site here. She finds one, but a quick trade from the side of SMG.
Yeah, speed possible here for Point of Authority, but as it stands, SMG hold down that A site well. Capybara got a lot of distance, actually making her way towards dugout, but beyond that now, it's Shirazi with a takedown over as Jexter, and SMG yet again willing to just go for the contact anyway. The double swing comes, bittersweet with the takedowns, but she's all alone now in a 2v1, and Alexi's already rotating to help out Shirazi.
Again, the trades are complete here for the side of SMG. Bittersweet, a little bit low on the HP, and that is going to be it as Shirazi finds her as well while setting up the wall. Good bonus round coming in from SMG right now. Again, really unstoppable here on the rounds, Dax.
Yeah, it was some decent plans here for Point of Authority. You see Capybara actually getting in there, them resetting themselves to swing in coordination to punish Team SMG. And those are the instances where it really goes down to that raw firepower, that raw aim, and SMG, that's where they can beat out Point of Authority if ever. If it becomes those right peaks again and again, then that's where the defense can just win it out through their skill anyway.
Let's see as we look into another round here. Again, defensive positions, try to look for intel. The same goes to the side of PAB. Basically, they have a Bucky here in play. Again, Koibi just popping in and even... What's that?
Where did Capybara go up and down and over to heaven instead? SMG now making Point of Authority Angels here. So sending their souls to the afterlife. All left now.
Raise popping. That's literally a raise popping.
She just flew. She got
know.
some distance there. And SMG gets another round along the way.
Flawless round even. I mean, they had the gun advantage here. They have the Vandals. For Point of Authority, you saw the guns that they had a while ago. They had the Buckies on their favor, to say the least, if you want to take on close fights. But again, SMG know their strengths.
Why don't you list them all, Taylor? Honestly, what are their
It's too
strengths?
long of a list here.
Strengths, everything.
Inari,
Alexi,
Camus, Shirazi,
Kohaibi,
the end.
Oh, let's not forget their coach, Mr.
course.
Fall.
Exactly.
And if I remember my history correctly, he used to play for the SMG men's team when... I actually can't remember, that was so long ago. But anyway, what can POA do now? Because SMG, they're yet again anchoring the right side where Point of Authority want to hit.
I would say if they want to take this slow, at least for a little bit, they can maximize utilities here and really go on for the kills, especially when they take the Seekers out like that. And especially when some people or some players of SMG are already blinded. But then again, there's a little bit of a fear here, Dax, trying to fight SMG. Very deadly, I mean. But you have to do it, you know?
Yeah, you have to eventually, but into the unknown, and you're waiting for the harbor wall to drop. Alexi instead just playing taps here until Metawin will make the trade work. So a chance now for Point of Authority. Neri trying to stop that out. Kohaibi is there also playing from long range. And Kohaibi, oh, that is nasty from her from afar.
Again, it's just like watching some players, SMG, having that ability to really take on the long angle shots, especially with the amount of control they have, the confidence as well that they have every swing. You can definitely see, even despite the comfort of them being a stronger team here, the foundation of the team is still there. You still see the trade-offs happening. That's why, at the end of the day, Point of Authority just losing the engagements.
Yeah, fundamentals, right, in terms of initial positioning. And then they have that confidence that they can win the gun duels anyway. We do get the buy for that A main control. Shirazi shutting down the run it back immediately. And here comes Inari as well to lend in a helping hand. The hold looking strong here, courtesy of Team SMG. They push with the Seekers. And Kohaibi and Inari will clean up nicely. 6-0, SMG doing it again.
Just using a little bit of a Seekers there. A little bit of an ultimate just to make a diversion happen here for the side of Point of Authority. Again, unstoppable force here coming in from SMG's side, especially having Ineri just also pop off on the rounds that we're looking at, I mean, quite expected, right? It's a comeback of the queen herself.
Exactly.
As they say, Dax, slay.
Yes, yes, queen. And,
Yes, queen.
oh, SMG. They just keep doing what they do best. They imply that immediate pressure. This time around, since they have more intel, they want to gather it as fast as possible. And Camu has brought out the operator, so it gets even worse for point of authority.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they would have more fear trying to peek angles now, especially dry peaks. And again, SMG knows their strengths right now. And there he goes in for that shorty shot while pressing W. At that point, only one bullet connects. Anyway, she dies off.
Yeah, she's just gone. And SMG, what's the plan? Nice shot from Jexter at least. There's the fight. If you want some honor here, SMG, you're only gonna peek one by one. Give it to her. Cascade. Next challenger, Alexi. And Alexi wins it. 7-0 now.
A little bit unfair because they had the wall there. But to say the least, again, point of authority here, Dax. We know that they can connect those shots, even on those sheriffs as well. They seem to be efficient on it. It just so happens that they don't have time to even react to what SMG is doing. Specifically when you are expecting as a defender that the other team would at least wait for your entry and all the other things that we actually see in normal Valorant, but that's not exactly what's happening right now. This isn't normal Valorant. This is the new meta Valorant.
This is SMG's
Valorant 2.0.
2.0, even faster than the other tactical FPS game. Timeout by Team SMG.
Ooh,
Yes?
okay.
Hello? For
Hello?
what? Okay.
And they said they need that.
You want to ask them right now? What's the timeout
Alexi,
for?
sorry, Alexi, what is the timeout for? Let me just DM them and ask. But hey, biggest shout outs to all the viewers right now for our channels here on the sub stream and also on the main broadcast. We have 700 plus people watching on Twitch right now.
Yo. Oh, why don't you
Yeah.
shout them all out?
Oh, no, hey,
More money 700.
timeout's not enough to say 700 names, Dax. And you know that.
Well.
Unless I sound like those people in the radio that says like if symptoms persist, there's always doctor.
You know the auctioneers. You know.
1,000. Yeah.
1,515. It's here 2,000 sold as we go into another round. And hey, point of authority has a good chance this time. They're moving towards A here, Terror, and not only that, some good intel. Capybara's already trying to get in there, but a single harbor wall as well as a prowler leads to the Nightfall, dissuading the attack.
I mean, they have a lockdown set in place and set in stone here, but they're all detected by the Nightfall. A little bit of paranoia, to say the least, for the time being, as they wait on. And again, they have the showstopper to play around here. Capybara goes for the showstopper. She actually finds an area here, but doesn't get a kill. Kohibi goes for the swing, and now that's going to be a one-to-one trade. But a Dizzy actually getting them off guard, and now Kohibi finishes it off. And now with the Trasher maybe finishing a bittersweet ending here, Dex.
Knife. Let's go, Kohibi!
Kohibi is now Filipino as well. Everything is happening right in front of our eyes. Tondo Gaming, it's there.
Yeah, we brought some Tondo Gaming, Kohibi. I don't think she's gonna want to change her passport though after
Yeah.
that one, but still, SMG. They make their way back onto the site, and you can see how beautiful their game sense is in the first place. They heard the showstopper was coming. They put themselves in positions that can get back into cover and re-swing at the same time. Despite what SMG is doing on paper in the compositions, the synchronicity is just unparalleled to what Point of Authority are trying to go against with.
Yeah, not only that, I mean, you saw the Nightfall just coincidentally going or coinciding with the lockdown as well, eliminating the push factor coming in from Point of Authority at that point. Again, new round here as Ineri shuts down Jexter. Bittersweet will find Camu as well. Odin is in play here, a 3v4 situation, but Metawin was able to take two here. Again, engagements left and right, and Ineri just jumping over to HP for Metawin. How?
How does she keep getting away with this? This is just not fair anymore, Terror, and she has the judge. Bittersweet, please. Please think of your future.
No.
Think of your next life.
No.
No! Shirazi's there to wrap it up, steal the ace away from Ineri. But no, just Stop already, SMG.
They had the Odin for the long range, and then they would just punch through with the judge. I mean, Inari managing to survive, just jumping around the map here, shooting the shorty for... I didn't know the shorty can kill from like 50 meters away.
She had 2 HP.
Yeah.
She would have died to a pebble thrown at
Yeah,
her.
exactly. Like a little bit of a... And everything is fine, you know?
Yeah, everything is fine, everything is calm, and everything is SMG, Terror. So they go towards main. Camu has the up. Nope. Actually doesn't get the connection this time with the Metwin. Follows the Trailblazer. SMG just scaring them off. There's another one. If you don't get to the Trailblazer, you go for the Prowler. The Dizzy's there too, and really point of authority just waiting for SMG to use up all the utility. The dry swing comes instead, and it's a 1-for-1.
Camu taking the shot on the op as well here. 1-1, like you said, Dax, but make it a 2-1 now with an indirect kill here from Alexi's side on B long. Aside from that, Spike has been dropped, and it's in the hands of SMG right now as we are looking at this formation. Neri goes down though, but this Odin, again, deadly. Shirazi just going in for the shots.
Who pushes with an Odin like that? Usually,
Shirazi, obviously. Camu as well.
everyone in SMG. You usually want to reset that recoil, but Shirazi was just pushing it. It was an anti-eco anyway. But the confidence on this squad is absolutely unparalleled. I think you just gotta wonder for the future, how long can they keep this up? Because let's be real quick. They're running these kind of compositions. They are on stream, and they're gonna have a lot of mysteries moving forward of what they can actually run in the future.
That's exactly what I'm thinking about as well, Dax. Again, you cannot see any pocket strats coming in from SMG because do they really need to pull it out this early in the open right now? Especially when teams are really having a difficult time answering to this kind of fun composition, I would call it. Cosmic Divide being used up, even the run it back from the Phoenix as well. Let's see if MetaWin can actually spot anyone here. Camu, she gets the kill with that operator, and they try to go in. But then Kohibi just goes for the trade already.
Yeah, I love the effort there from Point of Authority. They realize we've been stopped too many times, but SMG doesn't care where you're coming from and how close you are. Peeks through the wall. Jexter now with a 1v2 to bring out the shorties. Camu, the last survivor, and Jexter does it here for POA. What a win from the offense. They needed that one at least.
When you have like a map like this, again, you used up the Cosmic Divide, you used up also the run it back as well. With the Cosmic Divide going down, at least this gives an opportunity for Jexter to take on the kill and maximize the efficiency of those isolation, or rather angle isolation she was exactly doing at that point. And to say the least, I would say Point of Authority, they just have to make use of all the troubles that SMG is going through and all of the mess they're making right now.
Yeah, absolutely. The small slip-ups that SMG do when they're trying to be a little bit cheeky. But Meta win. That's a big win versus Cammy. We haven't seen from Fab here the early frags to give them the advantage. And as of right now, there's a bit more confidence to play towards main. The blastbacks are there. Capybara hopping over SMG, but Shirazi's still able to get that takedown. The Odin's there, and Neri is too. And SMG putting up a stop versus Path of Point of Authority. Bittersweet will fall, and really SMG has heavy control now.
Even if you tag them up half to the HP, they still have that sustain coming in from the sky anyway. And full heal capability. Alexi goes down. She's still restable at this point, but the Neri has to come closer. She finds Meta win here. Again, going for that duel as well. Spike has been dropped. It's only a 1v3 situation here. They can still rest up Alexi as well, but it seems like that's not going to be an option for now.
Yeah, Metawin gets past the doors, but anyway, and Neri wants to use the shorty yet again. SMG's waiting. The cascade is there, and Metawin. Where's the challenge? Where's the duel? SMG are just waiting for her to peek. Shirazi ducks for cover, and the Odin is enough to bring the round. What a half we have seen here from Team SMG Terror. They just take the map and take the wins anyway.
Hey, do I mean, you had the opportunity with the satchel in play and the judge very close to Shirazi, but in the end, they still didn't get to pull off the kill here. It's just difficult right now to actually say if they can take it back, but I think it's time to pass it on to the panel to talk about it as well.
Thanks, guys. We've got 2 minutes in this halftime, and I've got 3 words that I want us to talk about, Raf. Shiratsi, Harbor, Odin, go.
A lot to digest, to be honest with you. Those 3 words already conjure so many situations, and as our casters mentioned, who pushes with an Odin like that? Who hangs on to an Odin for that long? And why do you have 4 initiators? Again, SMG, they continue their dominance. I really, really like the fact that they're strong arming point of authority here just because they can. Sometimes you gotta warn everybody, and this is once again yet another statement map. But to go on a more strategic sense, I also feel like point of authority are allowing themselves to really get into those situations that SMG really thrive in, and by that I mean they're kind of lacking trades, they're kind of lacking presence for each other. Again, this is so difficult because you have to consider the anti-flash is gonna be there forever. Okay guys, let's dodge the flash. Which one? There's like 4 of them. There's just too many. Plus SMG, they're just having so much fun. It's insane. It's absolutely demoralizing. But for all you PAB fans out there, don't you guys worry, because I think this comeback is doable. But against SMG, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, PAB, the thing is, they've kind of, as you mentioned, let SMG get a bit too comfortable, right? You've got
Yeah.
Shiratsi, who's so comfortable holding that Odin for multiple rounds, pushing out with it. Once you've got Kamiyu as well on the get-go, on the operator that she gets to keep every single round. Is just how do you push against that if you are PAB? And I'm not sure. We've got 10 seconds left. Do you have any quick answer from you, Raf? What are PAB going to do?
They gotta start shooting some heads. Otherwise, SMG's gonna keep running through them.
All right, words of wisdom for all you guys back home. Taylor and Dax, back over to you guys.
Time to go for those fights. Time to go for those engagements as well, Dax. And I completely agree. At this point of the game right now, this point of the second game, that the map that they actually picked right now, I think it's finally time to show a little bit more of the confidence side on those engagements.
Of right now, they've been so potent for SMG, and it's just, what else can point of authority do besides kill them where they stand? It's a good call though for point of authority. We've seen their success last map. If they anticipate the initial contact, SMG though, do they actually push this? Do they dare challenge early?
To be fair for PAB right now, they've been doing good on those pistol rounds, I would say. It just comes to a point where it's a 1v1 situation and a post-plant situation that they just couldn't factor in. But look at this, SMG will try to go in, but this is gonna be the gravity well sucking them in, and still in the end, they still win those 2 engagements right now. Sampire though goes for the trade, but still not enough.
Oh, the later swings come, and that's SMG getting everything from close to far over towards that B site already. Jexter's the only one left. A good setup a while ago from PAB, but unfortunately for them, SMG yet again so sharp on the shots, and in the 1v4, a small chance for Jexter because 3 are low HP.
Low HP indeed. She has a turret here she can play around with and an alarm bot, but she also needs to find Kamiyu first. Oh, the dink hurts a lot. 20 HP remaining already. Wingman's being set in play, set in stone. There's gonna be multiple swings on this pistol.
They wanna knife her. They're gonna knife her, aren't they?
No.
They're gonna knife her, aren't
No.
they? And behind you, Cameo! Also now part of the Philippine roster, even more so. Son the gaming yet again from SMG. They just trap her basically.
I mean, you have a team captain, for example, like Alexi, that would just tell you go kill. What will happen, right? What can go wrong? And then they teach you how to knife players as well. What can go wrong at this point? I mean, Japeeps already tweeted me as well. They have a match later. They're gonna try it too.
If a while ago Kaibi was on the Rari Filipina, that was just true Filipina knifing there at the very end. That's how you do it. That's how you get them. And You mentioned the dink a while ago. As soon as that happened, I was like, oh, these girls are gonna go for the knife, aren't they?
Yep, they are. Especially with the wingman actually connecting perfectly. Alexi finds one. Good on the stun as well for SMG side. Again, just quick engagements for SMG. Good trades, and it's done and over with. Flawless already for SMG. 13-1. Dax, the record hasn't been broken yet.
Absolutely not. And you know what record continues is Team SMG's win streak. They have not dropped a single map last open. They still continue on in this open, and they are looking to be the team to beat. What else can we say besides dominance terror? Because SMG just get away with everything and anything they wanted to do there.
Yep. The composition they ran here, you have the first map having been Haven basically, and you have a 5 controller agent composition, and then next up you have a 4 anyone harbor composition. Again, changing up things and them just obviously having fun on the rounds itself. The thing is the other team just couldn't find the answer back, especially when it comes to the out-dueling and out-aiming. They just couldn't factor in everything else.
How do you even answer Team SMG by this point if they can just do whatever they want to do in the first place? Maybe if they ran 5 initiators, that would have been 13-0 instead of 13-1.
I'm waiting for the 5 duelists.
I'm waiting for 5 duelists. We're waiting for 5 Sentinel ones that can come out as well. And SMG, they were just absolutely amazing. That's really just what we can say about them. We know from a fact from their open, they've done a few role swaps here and there just to adjust for Eneri's entry. But here and now, it doesn't matter what they're playing. The whole squad fits like a glove, and everything is just so in sync.
It seems like they're enjoying themselves here at the start of the day. For day number 1, by the way, of Open 2, and already they're exploding, and everything else on Twitter is happening behind the scenes already. I guess the analysis here is SMG too strong. Thank you so much for listening to our casting for the first series. But anyway, let's pass it on to our panelists, Ray Rachu and Raph, to finally dive in more and introduce us to the next series later on.
Thanks, guys. SMG, just all these girls, 8 and left, no crumbs on the table. Raph, I had a question for you. Do you know what SMG stands for?
What is it? Smurfing Game Changers? Is that what SMG stands for? Because it feels like it, right? It feels like it, the way they've been showing everybody. And I feel like this is also kind of scary on the side of, I believe it's Orangutan soon, because I feel like there's a little bit of a rivalry brewing there. It's Orangutan was in the last finals. Can they replicate the dominance that SMG just basically showed us? And of course, that is now a full Filipina roster with all those knife kills. Great job, SMG. Let's go. Good job. Good job.
I love that. The panel before the series, I didn't want to admit like that SMG was from the Philippines, right? And then we just saw Kohaibi go full Tondo gaming right there with the knife kill at the end. And I don't know, man, I thought we were a Singapore org getting players from the other countries in C, but turns out I was wrong. It was you guys bringing Kohaibi and teaching her how to knife kill. What? But I mean, we're going to take a look at the scoreboard real quick from that map number 2. It's going to be, Inari right there, 369. So, she can do better. I've seen her hit 400. Of course, not playing on Sky.
Wow.
I'm kidding. Absolute queen stuff right here. 17 and 7. MVP on her side. Bittersweet for PAB once again, like 8-14. We're saying, in a map that is so dominant to your opponents, such as this, the fact that you're coming away with, like this amount of kills, a certain like ACS, it's still actually a pretty mean feat and nothing to be sneezed at itself. But what do we think? What do we think about the overall ACS from these squads, Raph?
It feels like you're saying Inari had a bad game, honestly. You're saying she could do better. She's had 400.
Never. I
It's
would
the
not
standard, right?
dare.
But other than that, we're going to be jumping right into the highlights here. I do appreciate that despite the dominance of SMG, we still saw Point of Authority trying to mix it up. You know, there were really key moments where, again, despite losing the duel, they were willing to explore what avenues they could find to succeed. For example, there was a lot of back and forth between, do we try and stop SMG at the choke? It didn't work. Maybe let's try and fight them in open space and have a side take, a full 5-person take. It didn't work. And again, that's just a testament to how dominant SMG is despite all of these very sound solutions that Point of Authority is showing. And I gotta say, it's still really a trial by fire. This is their first ever playoff appearance for Game Changers, and suddenly you run into Neri and the squad. Come on now.
Yeah, I mean, it's always going to be rough, right? I mean, we saw Jester just now picking up that pretty sweet triple kill, but talking about picking up some pretty sweet kills, we've got Inari MVP on map number 2, the queen herself, finally back in Game Changers Pacific, and what a welcome home to this girl.
Absolutely. Welcome home. Welcome back. And it feels like she's never left. The performances that she's been showing up until this point have been outstanding. And I feel like everybody, including us, the fans, all our supporters, expect her to do more great things as the series progresses. And that is going to be Team SMG's first win in this playoff berth. And I gotta say, who can really stop SMG? You know what I mean? Who is coming close to SMG? I feel like that's the question we're all kind of wondering. I'm sure we have our favorites, and I'm sure everybody likes SMG, but you really have to wonder who else is ready to step up to the plate.
Yeah, and I mean 13-1, 13-2, scarily enough, these scores are the average scores from SMG, right? Because we talked before this series, coming out of the Swiss qualification stage, they had 6 13-1 maps, and their worst score was still that 13-4. I mean, we watched the series. We were like, okay, 2-0, it's just a question of how fast are SMG going to end up getting there to that 2-0. And we'll see the bottom scoreline, right? 13-2, 13-1. We're like, holy crap, this is fast. But then when you think about it, literally every single game that these girls have played in Open 2 has been this quick. And this is just day number 1 of playoffs. So, I mean, these girls, the more we see of them, they only get better. But of course, huge props to the squad of PAB. We are playing a double elimination bracket, so it doesn't mean that they're out just yet. So they will have, excuse me, more series and more maps to play. I think we were saying, like, of course, it's kind of, you don't want to pop SMG this early on in the tournament and then get sent down to their lower bracket. But I'm sure that, like, we haven't seen that much from PAB just yet, but I'm sure that these girls are going to be up to that task.
Oh yeah, and again, looking at just Point of Authority, they're very, again, just looking at their game, they have great potential. It seems that their game plans are very, very sound. It's just playing against SMG is a whole different field. And again, another thing that SMG is doing, other than, just kind of having their fun, having their way with their compositions, they're also kind of hiding the best strats and their best comps for the latter stages of the playoffs. So that's yet another added bonus to their domination.
You're saying 5 controller for Ini is not their best strat? Come on.
I don't think so. 5 duelists is their best strat. Come on now, you know that.
Exactly. They're gonna bust it out for the final. But guys, I think we do have an interview with none other than Point of Authority Blossoms, Samfire. I believe she's the MVP for map number 1. Is she there? Samfire. Hi, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you well.
Hello.
Yay! Hi! It's so good to be able to talk to you, and thank you for accepting the interview. Do you want to just do a quick introduction of yourself to everyone watching on stream?
Hello everyone, I'm Samantha. People can call me Samfire, and I play Initiator at Point of Authority.
Is that why I noticed that your ID is Samfire with the M and starts with the Sam? Is that from your real
Yeah,
name?
yeah.
That's cute. I have first question I wanted to ask is that, of course, congratulations making it through the Swiss stage for Open number two. Today was, obviously not the day one experience that maybe your team was hoping to have, but how do you feel coming out of this day one?
We were excited because we met SMG, but we didn't expect to fight them in the first day. It was so fun. We were all laughing together while we play. Yeah.
That's great. Have you guys been like, long-term fans of the league? And of course, like I'm sure you guys have been like watching the girls from SMG playing in the previous opens. Like, does that mean like you girls are more excited to play with them? Because I know like a lot of people ourselves, on the panel included, would have been like pretty darn scared if we had to go up against SMG.
Yeah, I'm so excited. We were so excited to play with them.
For today, what kind of strats do you guys think that like you wanted to bring into day number one? Like when you saw the matchup, did the team think that you wanted to play standard, do what you practiced, or were you like, it's SMG, maybe you want to try something different?
Yeah, because we know it's SMG. That is why we didn't do any strats. We were like, all right, let's just play like how we
Wow.
used to. Yeah,
No strat.
and we were like, okay, we can just have fun together. Maybe if we get 1 point, that's good. If no, all right, nice try.
Last
mean,
question, really quick. Sorry, Raf, you had.
I just gotta say, with that last statement, you guys are incredibly courageous, and you guys are already shaping up to be one of the crowd favorites, And like I said earlier in the discussion, you guys have a lot ahead of you in terms of just how you've been handling the game. But would you mind if I ask the question, Jenny, or do you want to take the last one?
No, no, go ahead. Yeah.
Really, this wall of text here is saying you should take the last. I'm joking. I'm joking. But how long have you guys been together as a team, Sam?
Oh, I'm the new member. I joined them like
Oh.
almost a month ago, and they were like 2 months ago.
Oh, still a very relatively new team, but again, potential
Yes.
is definitely there. Any other questions, Jenny?
What's really quick? What's your goal for this open?
Yeah, of course we want to reach the winner, of course. We're going to try our best to fight the others, and hopefully we can all enjoy and having fun together. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, definitely from the audience perspective, we've had so much fun watching you girls play. Me and congrats on making it to playoffs, and of course, the best of luck for the rest of the competition. Thank you so much, Samfire, for the interview. Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye bye.
My favorite part was when she said, "Oh, we knew we were gonna play against SMG, so we prepared no strats." That's
You
just
know,
honesty in a nutshell. That is just all of us. I have never heard truer words being spoken than the day you find out you're going up against SMG.
I appreciate the courage. Literally the heart of a competitor, and sometimes with SMG, the way they have been, it just really is so difficult to prepare for them. I really wanted to like pick their brains a little bit on what is the philosophy on trying to stifle SMG. But again, that is such a really young team in terms of just like how long they've been together as a unit.
Yeah, it's just absolutely crazy. I think Samantha mentioned it's been like 2 months or so since the formation of the team, and like she only joined like a month in, stuff like that. So it's absolutely amazing. They did go 5-1 in the Swiss qualifiers as well, so their performance was nothing to snuff at. But guys, we're gonna go for a short break before we come back with our second and final series of day number one. It's going to be Big Scythe going up against Orangutan X. You don't want to miss it. We'll see y'all in just a bit.